Welcome back to another review, this time for Hell Mode. The hardcore gamer dominates in another world with garbage balancing, which had 12 episodes and was airing in winter of 2026. Synopsis on any list. 35-year-old Kenichi Yamada has spent his life playing every single MMORPG he can get his hands on. Tired of new games that cater to casual players, he leaps at the chance to try out a never-ending game with an intimidating hell mode that raises the difficulty and chances to level up to impossible heights. But as soon as he selects the summoner, Kenichi finds himself transported into the world of the game and reborn to a family of serfs as a baby named Alan. With nothing but his memories and wits to guide him, Alan sets off to conquer Hell Mode, unearth the secrets of the Summoner class, and free his newfound family from their fate. So we have an isekai, where our guy, he just wants a hardcore game experience. He wants the Dark Souls of MMOs, and he finds this game with the Hell Mode difficulty. He chooses the Summoner class and gets reincarnated into the world. Now, the only difference we know is that he needs 100 times more experience to level up. Not only his character, but also his skills. And that is essentially Hell Mode. It's essentially grind mode, if you want to call it that. Now, this show does some parts well, and some parts I feel like not. Now, I really like the Summoner class. I like the idea behind the Summoner class. He can create summons, creatures that are in little card forms. He can save up to 20 at the beginning. He can then summon these, and then they are in the real world and can use them to fight or use their skills. Every creature has like a skill. One of the early ones is like a grasshopper, and his skill is to hop. And then he hops in place because they are too stupid to understand what he wants from them. Which, I mean, they are not very intelligent. Every summon has their own stats. But I like the idea, especially because the summons he has in his backup in those 20 slots give him buffs to his stats. Some of them give him HP and endurance, some give him agility and attack. So he can choose and manage in which direction his stats go, which is a very neat concept. I really like that concept. Naturally, as he gets stronger, he gets more summons. He can have more summons in his passive area. He also gets the ability to fuse these summons to make them stronger. It's a summoner class. It's all about these summons, naturally. I really like that. Also, I really like the social class. So he is being born in a serf family. They don't have any rights. Their right is to just do what they are told, essentially. They're not necessarily slaves, but they are not fully fledged citizens. They are in a very weird position, and because of that, his parents decided to go and start the frontier town. It's like a project. There's a town that needs to be built up, and they are one of the first families there, and he's part of them. And as a serf, again, you don't really have many rights. You are not even allowed to leave the village, really. There's some specific things you are not allowed to do. They take a bunch of your stuff as taxes, what you produce. And it's not great. It's not great. And one of his goals is to get rid of the serfdom, to get at least his family out of that. Naturally, we also see some of the other characters. I find most of the characters are not that well done. They're pretty one-dimensional. Don't really like them too much. I like the dad. So that is really cool. But from the other characters that are in his age range, not that great. The animation is also not that great, at least the 2D animation. We saw a couple fights that did not look that good. However, fighting against monsters, they use CG. Now, CG for me is no problem. However, it is a very strong contrast to the rest of the show, because they have a specific style that doesn't feel that good. I mean, you can somewhat see it here. The monsters they look a little bit off in the show, but as long as the monsters fight each other, it doesn't really bother me. At least there's some animation going on, but also not that much. Animation, I feel like, is one of the weak points. The other characters, or some of the other characters, are also not that great. Some of them are decent, at least. That is all I can really hope for in Isekai nowadays, I guess. And it's mostly about following Alan in his journey. It is because of the hell mode, he doesn't get OP as quickly. He has to work quite a long time until he gets strong enough. But even then, he's not steamrolling everyone, which is very nice to see. Also rarity nowadays in anime isekai. And overall, it was, somewhat, it was fine. It was a fine series, in my opinion. It's not great. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but I would also not say that you don't get anything out of this one. Let's see. AniList has it at 68%. My anime list at 7, with 10,000 votes, so quite a good amount of votes. I would also give it like a weak 7 out of 10. Again, I really like the summoner aspect. I like that we don't grow OP instantly if we have a little bit of time. The serfdom thing is really nice, and how we try to get out of the serfdom and get fully fledged citizen is nice to see. A little bit of a different problem than just unga bunga, I need to punch people. It is a fine show.